first you should remember the basic concepts. River boat sums. Lakshmi, turn on the camera, Kanna, Vijay and Lakshmi. See, when I ask for river boat sums, first thing, all of you just visualize, try to visualize these things. Okay, then the concept is clear, no? The same thing you can just apply in the question. So what is this? So let us consider this is the river, okay? So for the understanding purpose, I am shading it. It is absolutely not necessary. While explaining, it will be easy for you to understand. So what is the velocity of river? If I take the velocity of the river, that is the current stream is this way. So the velocity of the river is, I am taking in this direction, positive x-axis. Okay. The width of the river, what I will do? I will represent it as W. W represents the width of the river. So suppose if I just move in this way, okay. So what will happen? You are just moving in this. You are swimming or boat, anything. You are just running in this way. Okay, boatman or swimmer or whatever it is object. If this is the velocity with which it is traveling, that is what we are taking, VBR. What is VBR, ma? The velocity of boat or the swimmer, okay, with respect to what? With respect to river. Okay, or velocity of boat, sometimes what we can say, velocity of boat with respect to what? That is still water. Still water means in the water there is no current, okay, just it's like a tank, how the water will be, the same way. Lakshmi, turn on the camera. So now, see, whenever I talk about this one, velocity, 11th you have learned and 11th students also know. See, always we talk about what? Velocity of boat, if I say it is velocity of boat with respect to ground. Velocity of river, if I say it is velocity of river with respect to ground. Because we usually have the observer on the ground, that is banks of the river, right? You stand here and you observe. So when I talk about the velocity of the boat, that means what? When I look at the boat, how does it travel? Ananya, see here, this river will force, yes or no? The water is a force, correct? The river current is towards the x-axis for her. So what will happen? The river, whatever is the object, it will try to push you. The force applied by the river will be this side, correct? So you are traveling in this direction. So what will happen? Obviously, the river will push you this way, correct? Towards x-axis. So resultant, what will happen? The boat will tend to flow in this way. Yes or no, Lakshmi? See, you started with what? The velocity of boat with respect to river is this. But you ended up in moving direction what? This direction. So for an observer looking from the ground, how does it look? The boat is traveling in this direction. You may think that no, I am just swimming across this way. Okay. But what happens? The river is also pushing. The river is flowing. Okay. So you tend to move in this direction with respect to this. So now all the three are vectors. So what is this vector? This is VR, right? The river one. So what will happen? Apply the triangle law. The VBR is this direction. VR is this direction. They both are taken in order. Yes or no, Ritisha? VBR and VR both are taken in order. Then according to the triangle of vectors, what does it says? That is VB. This is the resultant vector. So the resultant vector taken in opposite order. Okay, opposite order means what? You know, right? Taken in order. If you take head to head, tail to head means taken in order. But for the resultant vector, how will you take it? Here tail to tail, head to head you will join. So that is taken in opposite order. So VB is nothing but what? It is VBR plus VR. Correct or no? Any doubt in this? So the resultant velocity of the boat is the velocity of boat, that is velocity of boat with respect to river plus velocity of river. So whenever you jump inside in the water, you have to consider the velocity of the river. So together only it will lead your motion. So for an observer from the ground, it won't be your velocity, that is what? River velocity or the boat velocity with respect to river. It will look like the boat is traveling in this direction. Clear? Ananya, is it clear? Farha, is it clear? Can you imagine? Without imagination, this is not possible. And is it clear, ma? Sanal. So just you imagine that you jump in the water, okay? The river will push you. Yes or no, Sanal? The river will push you means you cannot. That much strength you should have. Naturally, if you don't resist, what will happen? You just swim across this way. The river is flowing. So you will tend to move in this direction. Okay? So this is the velocity of. Okay, now I will split this into components so that I can just learn it in a proper way. Okay, so what it is, again I am going to redraw the diagram. Okay, so let us consider that I jump in this direction. Okay, so this is the width of the river. I jump in this direction. So what is the angle that I make with the vertical? It is theta. I am assuming that let theta be the angle with the vertical. Okay. So vertical direction. So what will happen here? You can resolve this into two components. This is velocity of boat with respect to river. Ananya, are you able to follow? If you have forgotten the class 11 portion, it will be a bit difficult, but I try to just, okay, refresh. VBR is nothing but what? Velocity of boat with respect to river. It makes an angle theta with the y-axis. So immediately what we can do, we can resolve into two components. So the adjacent will be what? VBR cos theta. Then the perpendicular will be VBR sin theta. But along the x-axis, now if I redraw the diagram, along the x-axis, what is the other vector present, ma? That is VR, velocity of river, correct? So now I got two components. So what is the velocity? We know that VB is nothing but what, Lakshmi? VB is VBR plus VR, correct? So if I solve this one, then I will get the VB, correct or no? So what is VBR? So along the x-axis and y-axis you split, okay? So along horizontal direction. Okay, so what is the net velocity acting? VB is the velocity of both boat with respect to river and velocity of river. So along the horizontal direction, what is the two vector? If I take VR is greater, because the VB is in this direction, right? So VR is greater than VB. So VBR sin theta, correct? This is nothing but what it is? Velocity of boat in this direction, that is along the x-axis. Is it clear or no? So velocity of boat along the x-axis is what? That is VR minus VBR sin theta. So in the vertical direction, what is that? Along y-axis, it is nothing but VBR cos theta will be equal to what? VBY. So we know that only one component, no? So it is. So if I want VB, then what I can write, ma? VBX plus VBY, correct? What is VBX? VR minus VBR sin theta, okay? Plus what? It is, this is along I direction. This is VBR's cos theta along J direction. But here when I write, you should write that it is along what? This is along the positive direction I have taken, but this sign alone, it is not confirmed. If VR is greater than this, this is. If VR is lesser than VBR, then it will be different. Is that clear now? Till here, any doubt? This is purely concept, okay? You need to understand clearly. Any doubt here? No, right? So now, when I just do this, okay? Now, tell me, what is the time taken by the boatman to cross the first one? Time taken by the boat to cross the river or the swimmer to cross the river. Both are same only, boat or swimmer. Okay, time taken if you ask, what it will be, ma? It is nothing but time will be equal to distance by the vertical. Okay, so here if I need that, this is a vertical component which is helping me to cross it. Vijay, which is helping me to cross this is this velocity component. If I rely on this component, what will happen? It will not help me in moving along vertical direction. It is helping me in moving along horizontal direction, correct? So vertical direction, crossing the river, which component is helping? VBR cos theta. So this is distance by speed. Speed equal to distance by time taken. So distance will be equal to what? Time will be equal to distance by speed. Speed is nothing but what? VBR cos theta. Clear all of you? Lakshmi, is it clear? So which component is helping in crossing? Which component is helping in drifting? This horizontal is nothing but what? Drifting we say. Okay. So now, because of this, this is the time taken to reach this. Correct? So now, when the boat reaches, Sanal, when the boat reaches this place, what happens, Kana? The boat is traveling in this direction. Instead of, I started the journey this way, but I wanted to cross the river. Crossing the river means exact opposite point. That is what? Most of our aim, right? We want to cross the river in that shortest path, perpendicular distance. Okay, AB. But what happened? Because of the river flow, I just ended up at point what? C. Okay, so my destination was B. Because of the river velocity, river current, I ended up C. Farha, turn on the cam. So BC is nothing but what, Ananya? BC is nothing but what? Drift. Okay, drift means what? From the original position we have moved. Okay, so what is drift? The drift is horizontal displacement, correct? Horizontal distance traveled. So distance traveled is what? Along
Ma'am,
yes, Papa.
you told me to turn on my camera?
No, Farha, not Tara.
Oh, okay.
Farha. Okay. So x is nothing but what? Distance into, distance will be given by speed into time. What is the component of speed along the x-axis, ma? It is VBR sine theta. This time it is VR. So VR minus VBR sine theta into t. Correct or no? So if they ask you what is the drift x is given by what? VR minus VBR sine theta into what is time, Kanna? W by VBR cos theta. That's it. Is it difficult? You need not memorize the formula. You need to know how to resolve this into components. Clear? Then if you once you resolve it, it will be very easy. But this is general method, so I am teaching you the formula. If you can remember the formula, you can apply that method also. Is that clear, Sanal? Ananya, Neha, Nandish, and me. Okay, Vijay. So what it is, you should imagine and come, otherwise it will be difficult. Okay, ma'am is saying velocity of boat with respect to river. Okay, when I just enter into the river, I just calculate the velocity of boat with it. I just started in that way, but the river pushed me along this one. So a ground, from the ground, whoever is observing, they will see the final velocity, correct? In which direction it is moving. That is nothing but VB. Okay, so VBR plus VB, that is, this is VBR. Because of this river, I just started moving in this. So VB will be equal to what? VBR plus VR. This is the fundamental concept you should. So drift also we found it, correct? So once again I am writing both the things. Time is given by what? Width by vertical component, and drift is given by what? Drift is generally it is VR minus VBR sine theta into time taken. That is W by VBR cos theta, correct? Any doubt? Now, one by one, three special cases we are going to see. What is the special case? First case, okay? Condition when boatman or boat crosses the river in shortest interval of time, minimum time. Shortest interval of time, that means what? Minimum time I am going to calculate. Okay, this is nothing but what? Minimum time. Okay, so what is the possibility, Nandish? If I have to cross this one, this is my VR, right? The velocity of the river is this. Only way, what is the minimum distance? Perpendicular distance is the minimum distance. So I should start from A, I should end at B. Then my thing is what? It is the minimum time it will take. Whatever is another thing, then I am drifting means there will be extra time. So T minimum means me what? This is exactly you have to travel in this way. If you have to start this way, then what is the theta, Kanna? This is the way you should start, correct? So what will be theta in this case? VBR is exactly along y-axis. What is the theta? Nandish, tell me, Kanna, Anvi, turn on the camera. So shortest time means what? It is the minimum, perpendicular distance is the minimum distance, correct? So we have to travel in that way. So I run my boat with respect to river in this direction. So VBR is in this direction. So what is theta, Kanna? So VBR usually what is theta we have taken? That is, if VBR is this is theta with respect to vertical. So now what it is, since I have to take minimum time, I am shifting my boat to what? This direction, correct? So in the beginning itself I am doing, what is the theta, Kanna? Nandish, what will be the theta? Can you hear me, Nandish?
Yes, ma'am. Is it 90?
90. Why is it 90? VBR is this way, Kanna, initially. But now I want to cross the river in minimum time. So I am just running my boat. The velocity of boat with respect to river is in this way. So theta is with respect to vertical only, right? slowly shift this vector towards vertical. What will be theta? I have drawn VBR. So this is your y-axis. This is theta. So along the y-axis, VBR is there. So what will be theta?
Ma'am, 0.
0. Okay. So it is theta is 0. Then cos theta will be equal to what? Cos 0 is 1. So time taken will be. Otherwise, ma'am, this I don't understand. It's okay. No problem. So time has to be minimum. What is time? Width by VBR cos theta. I have told multiple times, when a trigonometric function is involved, that divides maximum and minimum value. Correct? So time has to be minimum. For minimum time, okay, so cos theta has to be maximum, correct? Yes or no, Ritisha? Cos theta has to be maximum. Cos theta maximum is, cos theta is maximum at theta equal to 0. That is cos 0 is 1, correct? So that's it. If you don't understand that one, you can do this way. So W by VBR. Clear? So this is the shortest time. Okay. So shortest time formula is what? Just W by VBR. At that point, what is that? At that time, okay. At this point, what is theta, ma? When theta is 0. Clear, Ananya? Neha, is it clear? Next is what? Condition when the drift is 0. Okay. So condition for drift to be 0. Drift to be 0 means I can start at, that is x has to be 0. See, I can start at any point. Okay. So imagine that I am starting as usual. I did not know what is the velocity. Okay. So I just started like this. Now what is that? I have to reach the point. I started at A, but my destination is what? B. I have to reach this. Correct? Yes or no? So if I have to reach this, what is my drift, ma? Drift is nothing but what? Drift has to be 0. In this case, BC. C is not there, no? C and B coincides. So that means drift is 0 means drift is what? X equal to VR minus V sin VBR sin theta into time. Okay. This represents X equal to 0, right? So this drift equal to 0 means VR minus VBR sin theta into time. Time cannot be 0, correct? So VR minus VBR sin theta has to be 0. That means sin theta is what? VBR sin theta is VR. So sin theta is given by what? Nandish, are you taking notes?
Yes, ma'am. I am.
So sin theta is VR by VBR. Vijay, what about Vijay? Adjust the camera. And so what it is? Sin theta is VR by VBR. So if you want to find, okay, to avoid drift, okay, see, if you want to take the shortest time, then you have to apply the velocity accordingly. That will be very difficult. But I have to go along with the river means, then what is the angle at which you should jump, or you should start swimming, or you should run your boat? That is, you can calculate with this one. Velocity of river with respect to velocity of boat with respect. So theta is nothing but what? Sine inverse of VR by VBR. So knowing this one, you can reach what? You can reach the destination. Clear, all of you? Any doubt? Okay. Now, drifting is 0, right? Now tell me, drifting is 0 means what is the velocity of boat, ma? Tell me, the same diagram I am writing it. Time also. During, see the same condition. Okay, drift has to be 0 means theta you found it. Correct? Now, drift is 0 means, okay, Sanal, look at the diagram and try to understand. So VBR is this in this direction, correct? So now what is it? This VR is in this direction, correct? Now drift is 0 means what is the net resultant velocity? The net resultant velocity will be this way, correct or no? The VB will be in this way, correct? Any doubt? So now what is the angle? It is 90 degree. Correct? So you can apply, if you know the velocity, magnitudes of the velocity, simply apply Pythagoras theorem. Okay? So VBR square will be equal to VR square plus VB square. You can apply if you know the magnitudes. Okay? So simply apply that Pythagoras theorem and find the value when the drift is 0. Clear, ma? Otherwise, what is VB square you want? VBR is this much. VB, if you want, it is VBR square minus VR square. Clear? So now at this point when drift equal to 0, what is the time taken, ma? Time taken is W by this is VB. Okay, what is the velocity along vertical direction, Tara? This is VB. So W by what is VB? It is VB R square minus VR square. Is that clear? This is very important. All of you remember that. Okay. So when drift equal to 0, that time what will happen? What is the time taken? Time taken will be equal to W by VB, you will get it. Okay. So W by VBR square. This is the thing. Clear? And remember, at this point, when drift equal to 0, what is already I have proved it. Sin theta. Theta is what? Sin inverse of VR by VBR. Now, remember that VR, okay, can never be greater than, okay, VR. For drift has to be 0. For drift has to be 0. VR should be less than what? VBR. Because sin can take, sin theta maximum value is what? It is maximum value is 1. So it cannot go beyond that, correct? Sin inverse of when you write it, it cannot go beyond 1. All of you understood or no? Trigonometry, all of you have learnt it. Sin theta can take maximum value. When VR is greater than VBR, numerator is greater than denominator. That time you may get 2 or 3. That is not possible, right? No, Ananya? And common sense. When the river velocity is very higher than this one, drift will be there, correct? When the river flow is very high, then obviously there will be a drift. Drift cannot be 0. So look at the question, read the question, okay? So that time you can, if they have given river velocity is greater than the boat velocity, all of you can simply with closing eyes you can write that drift cannot be 0. If the question is about drift to be 0, it is not possible, okay? Because river velocity is more than boat velocity. But if the river velocity is less than the boat velocity, then we can avoid what? The drifting. Okay, we can just reach the opposite corner. Sanal, is it clear or no? Okay. So now, the next point, okay, this is nothing but what? The third point is what? Here, boatman, okay, I will write it properly. If boatman or swimmer, okay, rows a boat along the river, then what is the velocity, ma? Net velocity of the boat will be equal to VBR plus VR. Okay. But if he rows, okay, the river upstream, that means what? Against. That we call it as what? Upstream. Okay. Upstream means opposite to that. Net velocity will be equal to what? VB will be equal to VBR minus VR, because you are trying to move against the river, correct? So that time the net velocity will be equal to VBR minus VR. Is it clear, all of you? Any doubt? So what we have seen, this is the same thing some people usually do with what? What is that? How to say that? They component splitting, and this one they do it. Always remember, in our case we have taken the theta with respect to what? Vertical. Different teachers uses different approach. Okay. So I have taken the theta as with vertical, not with this. Okay. Some videos and some books, if you take it, the theta, they will take it as what? From here, Senkage and the other books, if you refer it, okay, they will take the theta from the x-axis. I am not taking it from x-axis. I am taking it from the y-axis. With respect to our diagram, you should be able to calculate it. Any doubt, you can tell me now. These are all the basic formula. Okay. Shall I do some sums so that you will be comfortable? Okay. So now, what it is? First sum. Again, Sanal, is that clear or no? Vijay? Vijay, adjust your camera. Nothing I can see. Already filter effect is there. Sanal also, Sanal, fundamental, if you have forgotten, it will be very difficult. Then I have to go back and teach the relative velocity once. Okay, what is relative velocity? Okay, let us discuss. Let us finish these examples, then I will just go back and I will discuss. Okay, width of the river is what? 30 meter. Okay. Next, river velocity is what? River velocity, VR is 2 meter per second. And rowing velocity is what? That is velocity of boat with respect to river is 5 meter per second. Correct? Now, at 37 degree from the direction of the river current. This is very important. That's what I told you. Okay. What is that? 37 degree from the direction. So, draw the diagram without fail. Okay. So, rough diagram you draw it. So, this is nothing but what? Vertical. But what is the angle they have given? Ma? This is VBR is making an angle 37 degree with this one. Okay. So, VR is 2 meter per second. VBR is 5 meter per second. So, what they ask you? Find the time taken to cross the river. Time taken to cross the river, if you want to find out, what did I say, Farha? You need vertical component of this velocity, right? So, split this VBR into two components. This is VBR cos 37. This is VBR sin 37, correct? Now, formula I am not applying. The concept I am applying. Tara, is it clear, Kana? So, as per the diagram, Nandish, are you focusing? Okay. So, what it is? VBR. So, time is given by what? Time I need it. Omega by, this is nothing but what? VBR sin 37. All of you know that 37 means what is the value, ma? 37 degrees. Sin 37 is given by what? It is given by 3 by 5, right? This triangle you should remember. 37 means 3, 4, 3 plus 4. Okay. So, this is the triangle. Okay. Now, what it is? T will be equal to, W is what? Width of the river is 30 meter. Divided by VBR is given as what? 5. Okay. This is given as what? 3 by 5. Sin 37 is what? Opposite by hypotenuse. This is 3 by 5. So, 5 cancel. So, it is 10 seconds. Clear all of you? Is it difficult? You need not memorize any formula. You should know how to solve. That is, resolve it. Next question is what? Drift of the boatman while reaching the other shore. Drift is given by what, ma? Drift is given by the horizontal component. So, velocity along the horizontal component, what it is? VR is there and VBR is also along in this direction. VBR cos 37. Okay. Into what, Kana? Here it is time taken, right? Time taken is 10 seconds they have given. So, time is 10. What is VR? They have given 2 plus what is VBR, pa? VBR is 5 into cos 37. Cos 37 is 4 by 5 into 10. Correct? So, 5 cancels. This is 6 into 10, 16 meter. Is any doubt in this, Tara? Farha? Anvi? Neha, what happened? Not able to follow? Tell
No,
me
ma'am.
what you are like.
No, ma'am, nothing up.
Are you able to follow or no? Is that clear? That's all, ma. This is how you need to solve the sums. Now, next sum is what? Next sum. Okay. Width of the river is 30 meter again. Okay. Width of the river is given as 30 meter. Velocity is 4 meter per second. So, VR is 4 meter per second. VBR is nothing but what? 5 meter per second they have given. What you have to do? Make the velocity diagram for crossing the river in shortest time. So, shortest time, what did I say, Nandesh? Shortest time means the velocity, the boat will travel in this direction, correct? So, if it is taking this one, okay, the VB will be literally this way, yes or no? This is that. Velocity component will be equal to what? Shortest time means that is W by VBR cos theta. What did I say? Theta cos theta has to be maximum. Again and again you need not write. When you solve the sum, you should be thorough and you just apply that and finish it. I am teaching you, that's why I am doing all these things. Cos theta has to be maximum. That means T will be equal to W by VBR. So, in this direction, theta is 0 means where is VBR, Kanna? The VBR will be here. This is the shortest time, right? So, VBR is 5 meter per second already given. So, VR is what? VR is 4 meter per second. So, this is the velocity diagram. So, net resultant will be what? Anvi. If you just, there are two velocities acting on the boat. If you finish the parallelogram, the net velocity is given by VB, correct? So VB will be the net velocity. Clear? So time is given by what? Time is, width of the river is 30. VBR is given as 5. So what is that? 6 seconds it will be. Correct? Next, this is the minimum time. Next, what is that? Net velocity of the boatman. That is VB, I need to find it out. It's a Pythagoras theorem you can apply. I told you whenever the shortest time is there, use the Pythagoras theorem. VB will be equal to what? VB is the hypotenuse here. So it is 4 square plus 5 square, which is nothing but what, ma? 25 plus 16, 41 meter per second. Next is what? Drift along the wire. So drift is nothing but what, pa? For drifting, you need to know what drifting is. This is BC. Okay. Drifting is BC is given by what? Horizontal component. Horizontal component is what? Only VR is there. VBR is not there, right? VBR sin theta is what? See, when this is the theta, VBR is here. What is sin theta component? 0, right? So VR minus VBR sin theta, but sin theta is 0. So VR into time taken. What is VR? 4 into, what is the time taken given mass? 6, that is 24 meter. Ananya, is the drift clear or no, Kana? Nandish, I think this one you have not, somehow I feel like you have not understood. When VBR, for shortest time, the velocity of boat with respect to river is this way. Okay, that time theta has to be 0. Theta is 0 means sin theta is what? 0, right? So that's why drift is VR minus VBR sin theta into T. Correct? So here VR minus sin theta is what? 0. VBR into 0 is 0. So that's why VR minus 0 into T. So VR into T. Clear all of you? For the shortest time, remember that time is given by what? Omega by VBR. Next, what it is? Drift is given by what? It is given by, that is velocity, horizontal component, that is VR into time taken. That's it. Clear? Any doubt? Okay. So next question. In this only, the second question is what? Can the boatman reach a point? Can the boatman reach a point just opposite on the shore? What do you mean by that one, ma? That is, drift is 0, right? Opposite to the other shore means what? There is no drift. Here you are just traveling. You start from A, you have to end at B. So that means drift has to be 0. For drift has to be 0, what is the condition I told, Ananya? VR should be less than VBR. In our given condition, VR is 4 meter per second. VBR is 5 meter per second. Look at the question. In the beginning it is given. VR is this, VB is this. Since VR is less than VBR, it is possible. Correct or no? Because the question is about what? Can the boatman reach a point? If yes, it is possible. Okay, since this is one, yes, it is possible. Okay. Drift can be made 0. Okay. So now the velocity diagram is what? See, velocity diagram, you can start at any direction, VBR. Okay. So this is VBR. This will be the theta. Okay. This is nothing but what? Net velocity of the boat. The net velocity of the boat is in perpendicular distance means drift will be 0. Correct or no, Tara? Tara, are you able to understand? Net velocity is perpendicular means this one. Okay. So now what it is? You know that VB equal to what? It is, you can use this one. Now what is that? Pythagoras theorem only. So since it is there, this one right angle triangle, right? So if you connect it, VB is this way. This is VBR. Okay. This one is VR. This is VB. Okay. So now VB is what? Under root VBR square minus VR square. Correct? So what is VBR square, ma? 5 square minus 4 square, which is nothing but what, pa? 3 meter per second. So VB is 3 meter per second. Okay, VB is 3 meter per second means sin theta is what? Sin theta will be equal to VR by VBR. That is nothing but 4 by 5. So 4 by 5 means theta is what? Theta is 53 degree. Don't forget, this is competitive level. Definitely you should. When theta is 53 degree, this is 4 by 5. So this way it is 36. Okay. So this is the value. Now what is that they have asked you? If yes, made the direction in which he should row. He should row at an angle 53 degree with respect to what? From the vertical. So he should start what? 53 degree with respect to the vertical, he should make it. Theta should be 53 degree. Next is what? Time taken to cross that river. Under this condition, what is the time? Shortest path. Drift equal to 0. I gave you the formula. When drift equal to 0, what is the time? Time is given by width by VB, right? So it is, width is what? 30 meter. What is the VB value? VB we found and kept. That is 3. So 10 seconds. Okay. 10 seconds will be there. Is it clear, Ananya? See, Lakshmi, you should not confuse between shortest time and drift. Okay, shortest time when you want, what is the formula, Ma? Again, I am writing it. Just wait. Shortest time, that is minimum time if I want. Okay, the minimum time is given by width by VBR. Okay, this is for shortest time. Okay, at that point, drift can be there. Okay, this is minimum time I have found. Next is what? Here drift can be possible. Drift is given by what, ma'am? Drift is given by VR into T. Correct or no? Because at this point, for the shortest time, cos theta is 1, theta is 0. So sin theta will be 0. So VR minus VBR sin theta will be equal to what? It is 0. VBR cos theta will be equal to VBR. So this is, time is VBR cos theta. This is W by VBR. Here it is what? VR minus VBR sin theta, right? So because of that, VR minus VBR sin theta into T. But since sin theta is 0, it is VR into T. This is for shortest time. You can find drift and this one. Next what we have seen, this is drift has to be 0. Drift x has to be 0. This means shortest path, right? Shortest path. Okay. So under this condition, what we know, VR minus VBR sin theta has to be 0. That means sin theta is VR by VBR. Correct? This is applicable only when VR is less than VBR, magnitude. Okay. So under this condition, what is the time taken, ma? The time taken is given by what? It is not given by VBR. It is width by only VB component. And VB, how will you find out for this one? VB can be found out using the Pythagoras theorem, that is VBR square minus VR square. Clear all of you? Ritisha, is it clear? Okay. Next case is what? Next case, all of you? Okay, now I will give you this one. Okay, you just write this random questions I will give you. Let me see whether you people are able to do it or no. Okay. So now what is Kanna? Here, width of the river, I will just write it as only the thing. Okay, width of the river is 1 kilometer. The velocity of the boat is what? 5 kilometer per hour. Okay. Now what is that? The boat, the shortest path taken is what? Time taken to cover. Shortest path. Okay, not shortest time. Shortest path is what? 15 minutes, correct? So the velocity of the river you have to find it out. Now tell me, shortest time taken to cover shortest path is what? When drift equal to 0, shortest path means when drift equal to 0, time is given by what, ma? Width by VB, where VB is nothing but what? VB R square minus VR square, correct? So now what is that? Width is given, time is given. So I can substitute it. Time taken to is 15 minutes. So 15 minutes I can convert into kilometer per hour. So 15 by 60, right? 15 minutes. If I have to convert into hour, I need to divide by 60. So that's why 15 by 60 R will be equal to what? Width of the river is 1 kilometer divided by VBR is what? 5 square minus VR square is what? I don't know the value. I am going to substitute. Clear? So now this is 1 by 4 is under root. This is 5 square minus VR square. Square it. What will happen? 16 will be equal to 5 square minus VR square. So VR square will be equal to 25 minus 16, which is 9. So VR will be equal to what? 3 kilometer per hour. Clear, Lakshmi? Clear, Ananya? Farha, is that clear? I didn't ask you any concept. Sanal, I gave you, finally what I gave you, 2 set of formula. That formula you can use it. Shortest minimum time means what it is, t equal to this formula. That time what is the drift I have given. Drift x equal to 0 means shortest path. Shortest path at that time theta you can find, and time taken also you can find. For time taken VB we need. VB how to find it? Phi b r square minus v r square. Tara, is it clear Kana? Okay, now do this sum, let me see. Okay, so next is what? A person is aiming to reach exactly opposite point. Okay, so he wants to reach what? Exactly opposite. A, he starts from A, that one. So it is sent across the river means I am assuming that this is going in this direction. So using that I have found it. Next is what? Is that clear all of you? Any doubt in this? Now all of you do this sum and tell me the answer. If you are able to do it, it is good. So now all of you do this one. Minimum time is given. Just apply the formula, you will get it. Minimum time is 10 minutes. Okay. That time drift is given 120. You know the minimum time formula, it is W by VBR alone. Cos theta won't come. Drift is given by what? I have given the ready-made formula. It is nothing but VR into time. So first find time. Time is given. Okay. What is the width of the river? The width of the river is not given. Let us take it as W only. Okay. So W will be equal to what? This is given as 10 minutes, right? 10 minutes only you take it. Okay. So that means width of the river is 10 into VBR. Okay. So this will be my width. Okay. So drift is given by what? Drift is x equal to, okay, drift is given as 120. So 120 is VR into T, right? Do it and tell me. Okay. So what is this one? This and this is VBR. Okay. This is given as VR is we don't know, right? So but the time we know, correct? So VR into time is given as what? 10. So this means VR will be equal to 12 meter per minute. Any doubt in this? So this we have found. Okay, drift. This is equation 1 and this is equation 2. VR we got it and this one we got it. Okay. So now next is what? Next is if he crosses the river taking the shortest route. Shortest route means what, ma? Shortest route is nothing but what? Shortest route means drift is 0, right? Drift is 0 means what is the time? Time taken is width by under root VBR square minus VR square, correct? So now I need VBR, right? So VBR, but here I know W is 10 VBR. So T can be written as W instead of W 10 VBR divided by under root VBR square minus VR square. Okay, bring this side. What is the shortest route? What is the time taken? 12.5. So 12.5, okay, equal to, this is nothing but what? Divided by 10 equal to VBR. I will take it as V for a moment or some value. Okay, V alone I will take it because it will be easy for me. So VR square is what? It is 12 meter per minute. Everything meter per minute means you can consider that only. Okay. You need not change anything. So now what it will be? It is 12 square. So now cross multiply it. Okay. V square minus 12 square equal to what it will be? It is equal to V, this is under root. Okay. V into 10 by 12.5. Okay. So shortest route this time is this one, right? Next. This is, if you take the square, it is 12 square will be equal to what? V square into 100 by, okay, if you, this one, if you do it, but this is not necessary. I will cancel it here itself. Okay. This is nothing but what? If I take that, what is that? Fifth table, what it will be, ma? Tell me. This will be nothing but 100 by 125, 100 by 4 by 5. Okay, 2.5 table. 2.5 means it is 4 by 5. So it is 16 by 25. Okay. So this is nothing but 25 V square minus 144 into 25 will be equal to 16 V square. So 25 minus 16 V square will be equal to 144 into 25, which is nothing but what? V square will be equal to 144 into 25 by 9. Okay, so 9 table if it goes, you just cancel it. 1 9s are 9, 54 means how much it will be, ma? It is 6 times. Okay, so V will be 4 into 5, which is 20 meter per second. Clear all of you? Any doubt? 4 formula you should know that. That's all. That 4 formula, if you know that, you can calculate it easily. The last sum, okay, and then I will. Okay, so now what is it? A man can swim at the rate of, okay, a man can swim at the rate of 5 km per hour in still water. So velocity of man with respect to river is 5 km per hour. 1 kilometer with W is 1 kilometer. So velocity of river is 3 km per hour. Okay. The man wishes to swim across the river directly opposite to the starting point. That means first question is what? Drift is 0. For the drift has to be 0, what is sin theta kana? Sin theta has to be VR by VBR, right? So sin theta is VR is 3, VBR is 5. So that means theta is what? 3 by 5 means 37 degree with the vertical direction. That you have to write it, okay? If you are R, 50, this is 37, right? So with respect to river flow, if you are writing it, 37 plus 90 is what, Kanna? It is nothing but what? 37 plus 90. 127 degree you have to write. Correct? Is that clear? So 90 plus 37, it is 127 degree with respect to the river flow. Look at the options and you write it. What should be is resultant velocity. I told you what is the resultant velocity. VB will be equal to what? It is nothing but VBR square minus VR square. Correct? So what is VBR? 5 square minus 3 square. At a drift equal to 0, what is the resultant velocity? This is the resultant velocity. Look at the formula. So it is 4 km per hour. Time taken when drift equal to 0, what is the time taken? W by VB, right? W by VB. So what is VB, ma? W is given as 1 km. VB is 4. So it is 0.25 R, which is nothing but in terms of minute, if you want, 0.25 into 60. That is 1 by 4 into 60, which is 15 minutes. Clear? All I did was what? Tara, this 4 formula you should remember. Once again I am doing it. So for minimum time, okay, what is the formula, Kana? Or shortest time? Shortest time. What is the formula, ma? T equal to W by VBR. Cos theta will be equal to 1. Sin theta is 0. So drift will be equal to what in this case? VR into T. Correct? Next case is what? This is only 2 form. Next, shortest path. Shortest path means drift equal to 0. That means sin theta is VR by VBR. Okay, here VR is less than VBR. That condition you should know. If VR is greater than VBR, drift cannot be 0. Then what is the time at this point? Time is given by W by VB. And where VB is nothing but what? Under root VBR square minus VR square. Clear all of you? Only this one. Okay. So next class I will try to do rainwater sum and other stuffs. Let us see. Okay. You have to practice. Okay. All the type of sums I have done for NEET level. Okay. So all the sums only will be there. So practice it very well and then you will do. Clear? Okay, students. Any doubt you can tell me, otherwise we will finish.